Hello friends, I am Srishaile. I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Friends, I have come up with a story, The Night Train at Devli by Ruskin Bond. Before this also I had brought one story by Ruskin Bond. The title of the story was The Eyes Are Not Here. If you want to listen that story, I have provided the link below in the description box. Friends, Ruskin Bond is one of the leading writers in Indian English literature. He started writing at a very early age and got the recognition for the same. He has written many short stories, novels, and some books for the children. Friends, this story is originally written in English, but I have translated it into Marathi and Hindi. If you want to listen it Hindi or Marathi, I have provided the links below in the description box. Friends, this story is an experience of writer himself. When writer was in college, he used to go to his grandmother's place. In his journey, he had an experience and he described that experience in this story. So let us see that what was that experience and how he described in this story. The writer was in college in Delhi and he used to spend his summer vacations at his grandmother's place. She used to stay in Dehra. He would leave early in May and return late in July, and he would travel by train. In his journey, he would see that there was a very small station called Devli. It was about 30 miles before Dehra station, and it marked the beginning of the heavy jungles of Indian Terai. Friends, the train would arrive about at 5 o'clock in the morning at the Devli station, when the station was dimly lit with electric bulbs and oil lamps. The jungle across the railway tracks would be little visible in the faint light of a dawn. There was only one platform on which there was the office of the station master, a waiting room, and the platform boarded with a tea stall, a fruit vendor, and few stray dogs. Nothing more was there on the station. And the train would stop there for 10 minutes. The writer never understood why the train stopped at the Devli station. Nothing ever happened on that station. Nobody got on and nobody got off from the train. And there were no coolies on the station. Still, the train would stop there for full 10 minutes. And then guard would blow his whistle and train would rush into the jungle. The writer would wonder what might be happening beyond the walls of the railway station. What kind of the town Devli was. Because nobody ever wanted to visit that town. So he felt sorry, pity for the Devli station and the town. So he decided one day he would break his journey and go to Devli and he would spend a whole day and get the information about the town. When the writer was 18 years old, he was on his journey to his grandmother's place. The train stopped at the Devli station and the writer saw through his window. A girl came down the platform selling her baskets. It was early in morning, so it was a cold morning. She was bare feet, she had old clothes, and she had a shawl thrown across her shoulders. She was a young and beautiful, and there was a dignity and beauty in her walking. She was in search of the customer. When she saw the writer, she came to his window and stood by there. The writer was looking at her intently, but she pretended she did not notice it. And she stood there for some time. Both were looking at each other, but they did not say anything. And the girl moved ahead from the place. The writer left his seat unknowingly, came down, and he saw that the girl just moved ahead. He kept walking toward the tea stall. Went there, he saw that a kettle was boiling over the little fire, and the owner of the tea stall had gone serving on the train. The girl followed the writer, went up to the tea stall, and asked the writer, "Do you want to buy basket? They are very strong and they are made up of the finest cane." The writer said, "No, I don't want basket." And they kept quiet for some time. And after some time, once again the girl asked, "Are you sure you don't want basket?" And the writer said, "All right, give me one." Taking one from the top, the writer gave 1 rupee to that girl, hardly daring to touch her fingers. She said something, but God blew his whistle, and her words lost into the clanging of the bells and hissing of the engine. Writer did not understand what she said. The train was moving ahead. Writer came by running and sat in his seat, looking through the window. The girl was still there, and she was looking at Writer. She had smiled for the writer. Both were looking at each other up to the signal box came in their way. And once the station was lost into the jungle, Writer was left alone throughout his journey. He kept awake in the remaining journey, but he could see that girl who was standing at the Devli station. Means that he had stored the image of that girl in his mind. When Writer reached his grandmother's place, he forgot the incident because his mind was occupied with many things. After 2 months, when he started the return journey, he remembered that girl. When the train drew slowly into the station, that was the Devli station, he saw that the girl was there still on the platform. He had unexpected thrill for that girl. He came down and he saw that girl. She also saw him. She was happy because the writer remembered her, and the writer was also happy because she remembered him. Both were happy. It was just like a meeting between the two old friends. The writer went up to the tea stall and the girl followed him. Both were standing in front of each other, looking at each other without exchanging a word. The writer had an impulse. He thought that he should take her on the train. He would not like her to be left behind. He said to her, "I am going to Delhi." But the girl just nodded and said that, "I do not want to go anywhere." And the guard blew his whistle, and the writer hated him because he wanted to spend time with that girl, but now he had to leave. He said to girl, "I will come again. Will you be here?" And the girl nodded. The writer had to run up to his compartment. He came by running and sat in his seat. This time he could not forget that girl throughout his journey. Even after that, he felt that she was with him as a bright living thing. And when it was a summer vacation, he started once again journey towards Dehra. When train drew into the station, he had the feeling that this time he would not stand helplessly. He would say something, and he should say something. He should do something. He decided now. When the train stopped at the station, he looked up and down, but he could not see that girl. He came down and ran up to the station master. He asked station master, "Do you know the girl who used to sell the baskets here?" And the station master said, "No, I don't know. And if you don't want to be left behind, go and sit in your compartment." And the writer ran here and there, but he could not find that girl. He just saw that there was a mango tree and one road going into the jungle by there. When the train was moving, he came by running and sat in his seat, thinking about that girl. He had just met twice to that girl and knew very little about her. When he reached his grandmother's place, he did not stay there longer and he started return journey after 2 weeks. When he came to the station, he ran up to the station master once again, but he saw that there was a new station master and earlier station master had been transferred to the another post. He found there was a owner of the tea stall, a small shriveled up man having the greasy clothes. He asked him, "Do you know the girl who used to sell the baskets?" And that owner of the tea stall said that, "Yes, I remember her quite well. She used to sell the baskets here, but she stopped coming now." The writer said, "Why? What happened to her?" In return, he said, "How can I know? She was nothing to me." And the train started moving ahead. The writer came running and sat in his compartment, thinking about the girl, what might have happened with that girl. He decided that he would break his journey and he would go to Devli and he would get information about that girl and he would come to the conclusion. With this comfort, he spent the whole year. And when he started his journey once again to Dehra, the train came to the station But the writer did not break his journey, though he had decided that he would break his journey and go to Devli. But he thought that it was not fiction or movie. If it was, he might have stopped there and he would have gone to Devli and would have got information about that girl and would have come to the conclusion. And there was also the another threat in his mind, and that was what might have happened with that girl. She might have got married, she might have left Devli, or she might be ill. There were the many possibilities. So writer did not want to come to the conclusion. The writer says that in last few years he has been passing through that Devli station, but he never broke his journey because he started playing a game, expecting that girl with the same face and with the same smile. He knew that it was not possible to see that girl once again, but it was a game for that writer and he didn't want to break that game. He expected that one day he could see that girl there. So deliberately writer goes through that Devli station, but he never saw that girl. So the friends, the story ends here. I hope that you might have liked the story, and if you have liked the story, please don't forget to subscribe my channel, and thank you for watching this story.